So special because first of all, these girls have jobs. You know, I mean it's really refreshing. Also, she has a job that she works really hard at. It's very important to her. So you see that side of her life, and then how it kind of takes a toll on the sort of working woman side of her life as well. Apart from the fact that, of course, there's a point where you get to romance Milan Soman, woohoo, yeah, which is great. I mean, it's great to have eye candy and the other sex as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. There's so many things this show did for me. What did it do for you personally? Did you read that? Did it leap out the page saying, finally, tick, 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 tick?
First of all, hi. This feels like home actually, no? When I first read the script of Fomo Shots, Damini, they had come to me for Kavya's part actually. This was 2017, and I sort of felt, why should I do a part? Kavya was lovely, but I didn't want to be a smaller part in a show with four amazing women. And Damini really sort of jumped out of the pages for me. I loved her from the get-go. I said, listen, I'd love to play Damini. Where they said, no, we want a bigger name, and it needs to be a star. And they were sort of grappling with a few names and things like that. And I was like, okay, good for you, but I will have to let go of this, which Rongita, who's one of the creators and producers, she completely understood. 1st of Jan, she called me saying, will you be Damini for us?
Oh my god.
And yeah, and sorry.
Nice New Year.
Yeah, nice New Year's, and I actually thought that, why is she calling me to say
We're
wish
not
me?
that- yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we're
not
not
that
that pally that she's gonna call me on the 1st of
Hey man,
Jan.
anything is better than getting a WhatsApp that says Happy New Year.
Yeah. So, but it was a great news, and I said, listen, I don't have dates. I'm going to work it out, which I did. And Damini for me was exceptional because one, she's really strong, but also she's really flawed. And it's so liberating for all of us as creators, as people who are, mere mediums also, to sort of bring these characters from written pages and, these kind of translucent beings to solid beings. And we are the last people to sculpt those characters out, all of us, right? So it takes, obviously, it's way more challenging, way more fun when you get multi-dimensional characters, it's really boring to play, a character who's all goody two-shoes, or, somebody who's like a vamp and she has nothing, because in real life, human beings are not like that, everyone has different shades to them. So Damini really was exciting. Also, the fact that she was extremely political and she had so much agency, I really sort of resonated with that. And the first time I was reading the script, there was a 5-page scene where Dr. Varsi was looking for her G-spot, and
Yes.
I knew Milind Soman was playing the character, so I was like, it's not gonna hurt, really.
I had to read your part.
No, I wasn't there in the reading because
So they made me read that part because all the other girls were gushing. They're like, Manvi, and I was very like, guys, relax.
Yeah.
He's a regular person, just chill. And then I read, and he had one line, and something to the on the lines
your
of
vagina is perfect.
yeah, your vagina's perfect. Something, and he said it also like that, and like he's like left the script and he just looked at me and he said, whatever, your vagina's perfect. And I was just like, and all the girls were like, and I was like, and I went full red and everything, and they're like, see, you're blushing now, and I'm like, because you idiots are acting like this.
I'm blushing right now.
This panel becoming about objectifying women.
Quickly is.
It's about time.
But can I tell you, you should never meet people you like or have crushes on, because that never, especially men.
Because then you work with them and then
No,
it's
no.
just, oh yeah, okay, they get normalized. That's the problem.
They do, and I was actually on set, I was the only one not gushing, and I'm like, lines pata hai
You
tumhe?
and I both.
Yeah, but
Don't lie,
So-
guys. Come on.
No, really. And I actually became the mother because he would not know where this came, because he would never read the scenes or the script. So yeah, I was more like a school teacher really. So yeah.
I'm going to pick up on something you said a little while earlier, and I'm going to take it across the room. When you said, when someone calls you and says, I want you to play this part, and you say, no, I want to play this part. Okay? I think there's something so affirmative there, and it's not coming from a place of ego. I think as women, we've been taught to not be ambitious. We've been told in our middle class values that being ambitious is incorrect. How do you negotiate that for yourself? Like being correctly ambitious and asking for what you deserve, whether it's the money, whether it's the part, whether it's the film, whether it's the role. And is it okay to ask?
I think it comes from self-worth. And as you rightly said, well, I was really lucky that I was brought up in a Bengali household where, and mostly, primarily by women, who said the first thing you need to do is stand up on your own 2 feet respectfully. And marriage was never sort of, a question, a conversation. All that mattered was good education, a respectful way of life, and your career. So, and all the women in my family, including my grandmother, were very ambitious. So, I come from there. So I think, when the foundation is such, it's easier. But I've always sort of found it easier to say no. And I think it's really important, not just as women, but also as human beings, to say no and stand your ground. It only comes when you are confident and you're not insecure about, if I say no, what if I don't get a better thing or something like this. We're actors, we get sort of similar parts. There are many times when, I would not do one part and one of them will do it, one of them will say no to, I will do it, And I believe that whatever is meant to come to you will come to you. And I think education also, helps in building that or sort of, solidifying that idea. And I know what I bring to the table. And I would only do parts where I find it, it's not about smaller or bigger parts. It has to excite me as a performer. And as Shriya said, I wouldn't do something that is similar to anything I've done in the past, at all. And that's why one has been able to build a body of work which is, sort of varied. And I think saying no is way more important than saying yes. And as you grow older, I think it's one of those coverage that you realize is not just in terms of work, but in every relationship, because boundaries are the most important things we realize to live in society and as human beings.
वो कहा जाता है कि जैसे हाँ बोलने के नहीं मिलते ना बोलने के लिए मिलते हैं. That's the ये मेरी लाइन नहीं है किसी और ने कहा है. Often like you mentioned, if you don't value yourself, others are not going to value you, and you only realize this with experience in the film industry, and this can happen sooner for some people and later for some people. And it really is not about arrogance. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's not about arrogance, but it's truly accepting, understanding, and being comfortable with telling yourself that I think this is what I deserve. And you're not going to get everything you want each time. But then there are times when you have to stand up for yourself. You have to watch out for yourself, to be honest, every single time. And that struggle or that process, it's starting from the scratch every time, on every project, for the smallest thing.
And just to add to that, because a lot of people say, oh, now you are at a place where you can say no. I completely disagree. When I had 10 rupees in my pocket and I was starting out back in 2012, I said no as much as I say yes, in terms of, maybe I was getting 10 things then, I'm getting 40 things now, but it's not about money. It's not about the amount. It's not about the quantity. It's knowing what you deserve and where you want to be.
Right.
No, I just wanted to add that sometimes also what happens is, if you're just honest about what it is that you don't like about that part or that project or whatever, they might fix it. So you need to have that conversation, because it's happened with me where I've been offered parts or I've been offered a script which I don't agree with, or certain parts of it I don't agree with, and so instead of saying a blanket no, I tell them that, okay, listen, I don't want to do this because this character does this or whatever, the story goes here, and they're like, oh, okay, we can fix that. I mean, we did it because of this, but sure, we can try this, and then you're like, oh, okay, and the problem's gone. And so I think it's very important to assert yourself, but assert it in a way that doesn't come from a place of arrogance, doesn't come from a place of insecurity, but it comes from like an artist's way, and it usually the problems we have with the project are those. I mean, money and all can be figured out. Like, it's the creative stuff that bothers us and drives us to say no in the first place.
And you can tell very early on if the team is open to listening.
Exactly.
That's an immediate
If they're
sign.
collaborative enough, yeah.
So when you feel like they're going to listen to you, you feel more comfortable to be completely honest about what you want.
These are things that I struggle with constantly and with every project. It's not something that I feel I have control over or I know my way around even today. In fact, I feel that when I started out, I would more easily make braver decisions than I do today because there was less to lose, and the stakes are just higher now. So, and plus, I think over the years I've become more accommodative and I want to listen to different ideas and points of view, and I'm trying to understand where the other person is coming from. And that is confusing, it takes time to sort of understand what your course of action in this particular project for what you're asking for needs to be. How much do you need to assert, and when do you have to just say that, okay, fine, I will not have what I want, maybe that's better for the project. So those are very hard decisions to make, and I constantly struggle with it. I think it's one of the hardest parts of our jobs, and I don't know if I'm making correct decisions or not.
Of course you are.
ठीक है, चलेगा.
It's so easy to say that if there is a female director, then things could be better